Twitch laid off 500 people, which, as you said at the beginning, 30% of the workforce, 35.
I think it was like 34 or 35. It was just over a third, but we'll just say a third to be easy.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's it. We're hemorrhaging money. We don't make enough, and we're hemorrhaging money. Sometimes it also is an indicator of we hired too much, which they probably overhired during the pandemic when things were really good, like when the numbers were really good for viewership. And now that we're past that, viewership's probably trended down some. So this is a hemorrhaging money. And this is one of those, right? I think Twitch makes money. Let's separate that. Twitch makes money, but they don't make enough money. They're just not making enough. And it's like, it's just a huge, it's a huge problem. They've been making changes to like the partner program and like the revenue split with like with subscriptions. And that was like we're going to try and see if this is a band-aid. We're going to see if this helps. And that didn't work. They're like trying to incentivize streamers to run ads, so they have like extra like ad splits, and that's
spamming us with more ads. I mean, I'll be honest. When did I do it? I think like a month ago or so. I just subscribed to Turbo because I was so tired of freaking ads.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, these ads are like, it's just cancer. You just can't watch a stream. It's like every 10 minutes you get 3 minutes. You get 3 minutes of ads.
No, and I understand. I know it's bad. Like I run quite a bit of ads on my stream. And my justification for it was, if I run 1 minute and 30 seconds of ads during an hour, there's no pre-rolls ever. So you're gonna sit through 1.5 minutes of ads, but every new person that comes in doesn't get an ad when they come in.
Yeah.
I think that's like a huge turn off, is you immediately get an ad. You're like, fuck this. I would actually say people should subscribe to Turbo. I know they bumped up the price of Turbo recently. I think Turbo is like a great option where like I don't want to have to subscribe to like 20 different streamers or something.
It's not cheap. It's like $13 a month or something.
They increased the price.
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, they increased it quite a bit, and I think it's worth it. And one other thing I want to add about Turbo before we close that thought on Turbo, the streamer still gets money when somebody with Turbo sees an
is watching
ad. They wouldn't see the ad, obviously.
The ad's supposed to play,
but when it's supposed to play, you get money for it still. And I know that for a fact because I've seen it in my reports. So I would actually say, like, look, if you're not going to subscribe to streamers, that's okay. Just get, you can get Turbo, and you're actually supporting the streamer in another way for revenue. Like, your viewership is one free way to do it, obviously. Like, that's beneficial for the streamer. But Turbo is also beneficial for them. So that's another avenue to help. There was a Q&A with Dan Clancy, CEO of Twitch. We don't have the full Q&A here, but here are some notes from the Q&A. There was more than this, I think, and we'll touch on one of them about Twitch Prime. But some honorable mentions from the Q&A, not the highlight. Twitch Rivals is not ending. I think there was some speculation around that because there were some people from Twitch Rivals team that got laid off. Employee base, biggest cost outside of video and coding. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Headcount is always the most expensive thing. Like headcount in companies is the most expensive thing. That's why you constantly see companies lay people off. Go ahead.
If you employ so if 500 was a third, so they have approximately 1,500 employees.
Yeah.
If you are employing 1,500 people, and I don't know what's a good
$100,000.
I was gonna say, okay, let's say on average they make $100,000 a year.
Yep.
I mean, that's like 100 and what is like $150 million a year or something like that. Like, sorry, I'm like bad on math right now.
No. It is 150 million. So. And obviously, we'll be corrected by somebody on that if we're wrong. So even if it's not 150 million, 15 million, 15 million is a lot to have to handle on your head count. So 150, they got to get that back somehow. And headcount is always the most expensive thing in the business. Like it just is. That's your big expense. Your big expense is not like we're paying $8 to use Slack. Oh, like video encoding obviously for them is really expensive. Some hosting, or if you have a lot of storage for your service, that's expensive. That could be expensive too. Shorter, more frequent mobile sessions. Improving the mobile app is a high priority. They're starting to do this. They're trying to kind of do like let's have like a little mini TikTok. Our content creators can have like a mini TikTok within our mobile app. They can do stories. As somebody who's used stories before, I will admit that I would much prefer to be able to make a story outside of the mobile app. I don't know how to do that. A story is just you can post one of your like clips from your channel if you want, you know. But it only goes to the mobile users, really. Like in the web client, they really don't see that. So, visibility, like it. Ads have not shown to affect retention much. I don't know. I know they have data to support that, but
I mean, people don't like ads, but
the terminology of retention is meaningful. Maybe they're not going to say it, but I would love to see the data on what is the impact of the pre-roll ad, like pre-roll ads have on discoverability, or just like first time viewer. Like your viewer comes in, drops out. That's not retention. If you have retention from a viewer, they're coming back. I don't think an ad's going to affect that anymore. Like they've already bought into your content. So I don't think the ad's going to affect it anymore. But I would love to see data on the first time viewer. If the streamer runs like a minute 30 of ads an hour, what is the impact on the first time viewer session? Or like, what is the impact of pre-roll? They're not going to share that data because it probably looks bad. I'm guessing the data looks bad. Special contracts with top streamers have gone away because the cost of retaining them is greater than the return. That's a big deal. I think that's a really big deal. Twitch has indicated, based on that wording, that they don't find trying to give those big streamer contracts a go is worth it anymore. So, like Kick, for example, has been doing this. Mixer, obviously, the historic Ninja contract, YouTube, they go for these. They consider it worth it. Twitch is saying it's not worth it for us. I'm not sure what the impact is going to be on that. My guess is all the contracts that are currently in place are staying, obviously, but new contracts will not be signed. Twitch is not offering them. That's really interesting to me.
I feel like we haven't seen one of those from like anybody in a while, to be honest. But
yeah, we haven't heard a big one. Oh, there's a revision below. I apologize. Employee cost is secondary to streamer revenue share. Both are greater than video tech costs. Streamer revenue split isn't actually a cost burden. Yeah, I mean they have to, they're doing a revenue split. It probably it affects the revenue that they can effectively bring in, because they have to give, in this case, 50% of it to the other person. That's the content creator. Yeah, of course that's going to be a cost that you're calculating into this. Of course, it's going to be high. But I don't consider that like a cost you're thinking about compared to headcount, compared to video encoding. Revenue split is just the nature of how your business works. You have to provide a revenue split.
I mean, no one would stream on Twitch if they couldn't make any money on Twitch.
It's like if a place like Fiverr was like, ooh, it's such a burden that when somebody, contracts with one of our people, we're missing out on all this revenue. Well, you take a service fee. The nature of your business is you don't get all the money. You get a service fee, and the person doing the actual work that's not the contractor gets the bulk of the revenue. Fiverr doesn't consider that like a cost burden. It is how they do business. Twitch is probably looking at the same way. The way our business works is if someone subscribes, it's 50-50. And that is a fair... From the Twitch side, that is fair. From the streamer side, somebody could argue maybe it's not fair. But we're not going to argue that right now. So that was a lot of layoff stuff, Spoon, and I obviously talked through most of it. I'd like to turn it to you now. Anything you'd like to just jump in on, any of this stuff with Twitch. You could even throw in Discord, obviously, but and the other thing we didn't mention, just as a final thought, but you can touch on it if you'd like, is Twitch Prime. What do you think is going to happen to Twitch Prime? Twitch Prime has been a big conversation point after the layoffs and the Dan Clancy interview. He said, and I can't quote it exactly, but it was very close to what I'm going to say. He said, we want to keep Twitch Prime around in some capacity.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't see this interview. I haven't heard any of the clips from the interview, so I didn't have that context. But I did hear from you, and I saw a few other people saying on Twitter, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Twitch Prime not went away, but like if it becomes like a 50% sub as opposed to a full free sub.
Yep.
So, you know, them continuing to cut the benefits of Twitch Prime until it's gonna be almost. I mean, you used to get ad free with Twitch Prime. Remember that? Yeah.
That was crazy good. Twitch Prime was so good when it was ad free.
Twitch Prime
was all ad free. Everything was ad free. That was crazy.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, I don't think I have too much else to add. I mean, obviously they're a company. They're owned by Amazon. They want to make money, so I get what they're doing. It's just shitty for the people getting laid off. Excuse me, it's for the people getting laid off. It's shitty for Twitch Prime because that's gonna continue to get worse. But yeah, I mean, I have no idea what their costs look like and what their revenue looks like. But yeah, I mean, I saw stuff of people basically saying that, yeah, Twitch is still not profitable. I don't know how close they are. Maybe they're close. But laying off 500 people makes me think they're not that close.
It makes me think they're not close. Yeah, it makes me think they're not. Whether they want to indicate that or not, it makes me think they're not.
Which is, I mean, I don't know. Do you think Twitch was profitable before Amazon took over? No.
I think Amazon saw Twitch as a potential opportunity to distribute their ads specifically through the platform and to get very... Twitch's demographics are extremely valuable. The demographic being young people. It's the reason why TikTok is so valuable. A lot of people value TikTok because younger demographics view TikTok. So from a business side, Amazon's like, we don't hit a young demographic. We want our ads and our distribution of ads and all of our platforms to hit an extremely valuable demographic. So we're going to hit the, like, I'm just going to say it as 18 to 30 for now, but it's probably a little bit bigger than that for variance there. That demographic is like really big. You're like, okay, we got to hit this one. So Amazon probably saw the loss that Twitch takes on, but Twitch is also a platform that gets tons of eyeballs. So there's potential like, okay, well, if we bring us in, maybe we can bring that money up and we can monetize it to a point where it's profitable and it's going to go up. Because the user numbers on Twitch, the viewership numbers and all that, if you look at probably the top websites right now in the world, Twitch is probably one of the top ones.
Yeah.
So it's probably. Like, it's like insane. And you know, I think Amazon did see that value. That being said, Amazon, I don't know this for sure, but Amazon strikes me as a company that is strict with how it works with, like, we'll say money. If you're not making money, your business isn't making money, Amazon strikes me as the type of company that's like, well, you're not making money. 1, figure it out now. 2, cut cost.
Yeah.
How do you cut cost? Your quickest way to cut cost is to fire people.
Is to lay people off,
Which is really bad. Like, it's obviously really bad.
Yeah.
So
again, if you go by our very rough model from, 1,500 times 100,000 a year,
right,
obviously it's not going to be exact. It may not be close, but
Right.
you know, they're saving $50 million in that
You're
model
saving
by
a ton.
laying off 500 people.
Yeah, you're saving a ton of money. So they're like, okay, we're saving a bunch of money. The downside of that being, what happens to the distribution of work? Does something go away? They talked about trying to capitalize on bits again. You know, they're like, okay, we're going to try and revamp bits some time ago. I would say Twitch Prime is going to go to a 50% off, which I think if Twitch Prime is 50% off, obviously it's valuable, but having a free sub to give to somebody, to the streamer, was like kind of the last thing for me to feel like Twitch Prime was really valuable. I feel like just having a 50% discount, I mean, you're going to use it, but like it still doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good.
You still have to pay. You still have to pay for it.
The ads part of it, I think we could live with. You're like, okay, I see ads again.
And I
can
get
live
it.
with
I
that.
get it.
I get it. Twitch, that's like the biggest revenue stream for Twitch right now, probably, is the ads. I've talked to Death personally about how Twitch's ad distribution is horrible. It's probably one of the worst I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, because it's not targeted. It's not targeted.
It's not
right?
targeted. There's no targeted ads. It is, the viewer has very little control over them compared to YouTube, where they can skip it. The methods for which the ads come in, like it's a pre-roll ad, that is extremely frustrating. And it's not just a pre-roll ad for certain videos. Like on YouTube, if a video has a lot of viewership, you get a pre-roll ad. But like our videos, who don't get much viewership, get viewers, they're not going to show an ad for our videos. So it's not as bad. If you have a stream of 3 people, they get an ad. They're just going to get an ad because you might be an affiliate.
I was gonna say I think non-affiliates don't get ads.
Non-affiliates don't.
Maybe I'm wrong about. But if you're an affiliate, yeah, you do.
You're an affiliate. Sure. Here come the ads, and you're not a big streamer. Affiliates are not big streamers. Even though the numbers might be otherwise, but yeah, they're like, yeah, the YouTube ads are shorter, potentially skippable, especially the ones, if they are over 30 seconds, skippable. They're for sure skippable.
Yeah.
So YouTube does a much better job with the way they handle advertising, because they've kind of the platform was built out this way. Twitch is a platform. My gut tells me they didn't think about ads when they built the platform.
Well, yeah, and the other thing about YouTube is, since YouTube is, I mean, obviously there is live streaming on YouTube, but the majority of YouTube is video on demand.
Right.
When an ad plays in a YouTube video, the video is paused.
It's a paused video.
And you continue watching the video
absolutely
from where you were as soon as the ad is over. On Twitch, if a 3-minute ad starts playing and the streamer is in the middle of like something exciting or important, you miss that. Yeah. Because you get a 3-minute ad.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying and really frustrating.
Right. Yeah, it's just it is nobody likes ads, but Twitch's ads in particular feel the most I'm just gonna say vicious.
It's the same thing with like television ads. If you're watching a show on television, when the ad plays, the show doesn't keep playing and you miss a few minutes of the show. The show stops, they play an ad, and then it picks back up right from where you left off when they start playing the ad.
Right.
Twitch is probably the worst implementation of ads because, again, some cases you don't miss anything important. But in a lot of cases, they're playing a game of League of Legends and, the Baron fight starts. It's like, man, it's a pivotal moment in the game. Boom, ad.
Yeah.
3-minute ad.
Yeah.
And you literally miss the Baron fight, and you miss the end of the game because, the Baron fight decides, say it's late in the game, the Baron fight decides the game, basically.
Right. Like you're as a viewer, you're super reliant on the streamer being having some awareness that they're running ads, and that they're gonna be like, okay, hey guys, looks like an ad's about to run. Let's take a little break while the ad runs. We'll pause everything. But like in some games, you can't even pause. Like you can't pause League. You can't pause League.
You can't do that in multiplayer. You can't do it in multiplayer.
You can't just do that. So it's very like, it is super reliant on a little bit of trust that the streamer knows what they're doing. But in some cases, they just don't think about it. They're not thinking about the ad running.
Yeah.
I know when my ads are going to run, and I'm like, okay, like I'm not going to do anything. And if I am playing a game that I can't pause, I'm just going to like kind of sit or like do something boring like inventory management while the ad plays. So yeah, I mean, like this is also a fundamental problem with Twitch. It all like kind of comes together, and Twitch hasn't solved it. Twitch hasn't solved the problem. They're kind of like pushing the problem. They've told streamers, "Hey, play more ads." And the streamer's like, well, we don't want to give the viewer a bad experience.
Or turn on, their automatic ads or whatever.
Turn on the automated ads, will give you a better split for ad revenue, which is great. But let me give you one more example on why I don't think it's great. Okay, my viewership on my streams is it's low, but it's also pretty damn good when you think about it. I would say I average about,
compared to the vast majority of Twitch, yes.
I'll say I average 5. It's easy number to think about.
Yeah.
If I average 5 streamers and I play a minute 30 of ads, I get a 50% ad split, 55% ad split compared to 30 something, 35. Usually what happens is at the end of the stream, if I wait a couple days, I'll get the ad report from my stream summary. Depending on the month, December and November being the highest yield of ad split payout, my maximum ad split I've incurred, given I stream about, let's say, 2 to 3 hours a stream, is about 20 cents per stream.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling the streamer, hey, bombard the viewer with ads so that we'll give you a little bit better split. It's better for us as Twitch. This is just how the system works. And you as the streamer look at your report and you're going, I intentionally provided my users with a worse experience, and I got very little from that.
I got 20 cents.
20 cents. And to be honest, now that December and November are over, it's more like 10. So, and I'm a 5-viewer stream. If you're like 20, if you're 100, maybe more, the incentive is much better.
I mean,
for you.
the more viewers you have, the more money you get from ads.
You're gonna get more, so it's different for you. But like, think about if you're a smaller affiliate streamer. You have like no incentive to run ads. There is zero incentive to run ads for you. You get like 10 to 20 cents. You're just providing a worse experience for your stream and getting very little for it. And Twitch has already provided that to you. You have zero control over it. Even if you don't run their ad system, everybody gets a pre-roll. It's always a bad experience when that happens. The viewer immediately wants to jump ship and go to their favorite streamer as opposed to maybe you. You're like their discovery streamer. They're like, I want to discover a new streamer. They go to you and they get a pre-roll. Like, I think what I'm trying to get at is Twitch's struggle with trying to make money is it's not their head count. It's not their encoding costs. It is all come down to the primary way that they make money is fundamentally broken.
Yeah, it's flawed on this platform for sure.
And I think Amazon came in and figured that out, and they're like, how the hell are we going to reconcile this? This is like a fundamentally bad system. How do we fix it? They haven't figured that out yet. They're like, well, what if we provide like hype chat? Nobody wants to do hype chat. Nobody wants to do that on Twitch. Even though on YouTube, people do it all the time. They use super chat all the time. They don't want to do that on Twitch. They don't want to use, they tried to do their ad incentive program. Their ad incentive program, the algorithm was terrible. The algorithm for the money was terrible. So
it was dumb.
The scaling didn't make sense. So nobody wanted to do it. It was like, I want to do that. It doesn't make sense.
Exist, but like nobody uses them
anymore.
Uses
bits. Like nobody uses bits. Nobody wants to use
people
bits.
Use them for a bit when it like first came out. I guess when you could get free bits, people used it, but not many people don't use it anymore.
Twitch figured out that you can farm it. You can basically make a bunch of accounts and just farm bits, and they're like, okay, that's not actually good for us.
And now we're just giving streamers money for free. Like,
yeah, we're just giving people and streamers money for free. Like it can be abused. So they're like trying a lot of things.
Yeah, to me, like the Yeah, I don't know. Again, I know Twitch needs to make money on these things, but like bits were just like it was just so expensive.
Right.
Basically, you had to pay like $1.40 for $1 worth of bits. Like the
Yep.
conversion rate was so bad.
It was bad
Like,
conversion rate. It didn't make a lot of sense to me to have that kind of conversion rate, but
There's got to be other ways for Twitch to either monetize or adjust the monetization that's currently on there.
they've tried a lot of things and nothing has worked. So
So
we'll see what they do.
yeah, Twitch is in trouble. I'm not saying they're gonna like close shop
Yeah,
tomorrow.
they're not gonna shut down. They won't do that. But
I
yeah, no, I mean, you can tell over the past few years, we keep talking about Twitch L's and stuff. It's because, I mean, they're trying desperately to find a way to make money, and they're
Right.
just not, or
They're-
to be profitable, I should say. They do make money, but, be profitable.
but it's not profitable, right? Yeah, and I think this comment actually is exactly what I was thinking too. It's only because people don't try new streams. So like, this is why for me I turn off the pre-roll by playing ads in the middle. And I've actually heard this from other people. And if you're being nice about it, I appreciate you being nice about it, but you can also be honest about it. I think I'd much rather not get the pre-roll and be submitted to the minute 30 ad that I know the streamer might have a good way to manage than just bam pre-roll. I've had people say this to me before, where like I'd much rather like not see the ad when I come in, get the curated ad that you provide and that you're managing, and skipping the pre-roll is like so valuable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I personally never minded the pre-roll because I just knew it was coming, like it was gonna be there, and I just like mute the stream for 30 seconds and then bring it back once it's over.
Yeah.
But if the streamer is like controlling the ads well, like you mentioned that you do, and like make sure you're not doing much when the ad runs, then I think then it's probably better, as you said. So.
And I do try. I'm like, okay, obviously whatever I can control, I try to control. I try and like, okay, if I'm doing something interesting, I'll snooze it. I'll try and pause it for a while.
Yeah.
And when I know it's coming, I'll just stop doing like cool or funny things for a bit, go like do some inventory management, go like fuck around, or I'm doing like traveling, and then when I know the viewers are back, I'll start to do interesting things again. So
yeah,
that's been my solve for it. I personally don't like pre-rolls. I know you can mute it, like, and I appreciate you being more open to being like, I can just mute the pre-roll, it's totally cool. But I know people who are just like, I hate the pre-rolls. And I'm
yeah,
like, okay,
I know.
well,
I know. I think I'm in the minority. I'm in the minority on that one. But that was just my experience.
Yeah. I appreciate that thought process of being okay with the pre-roll. To be fair, I have found that many people I talk to don't like it. So like, it's nice to know that somebody's like, pre-roll's okay. Like, I'll just mute it, and then once we're in, I'm in. I do think that's good because I think the biggest turnoff for streamers is the pre-roll.
I much more despise the like, and this is more a problem for big streamers and especially streamers who play like multiplayer games and stuff like that, where like, again, exciting thing is about to happen, bam, here's a 2-minute ad, like, and you just missed like the most exciting part of this in the middle of the stream, like, or like, I'm watching Grubby play Dota, and every 10 or 15 minutes you get a 2 or 3 minute ad, and like you're getting like 10 or 15 minutes of ads per hour, and it's just like, it's nonsense.
It's frustrating. It's
so much. Like,
it's frustrating. Yeah. I've done my best to avoid those issues as best I can. And if I'm playing like a multiplayer game like that, I'd probably turn off the ad system for that particular stream and then turn it back on for the next ones. That's what I've done too, is I've actively turned on pre-rolls in cases where I know I'm going to play a high octane game that I have no control over. So I'm like, I can't control this. I know people are going to suffer through the pre-roll, but then I'm just going to let it, stay from there. Won't play any ads if I can help it in the middle. That way people aren't missing anything. So I do, like, I try to be thoughtful in those regards too. And it's like, okay, well, like, I can't pause League of Legends, so
but I can roll an ad after a game. I don't know. Anyway, I don't have anything else to add. I think Twitch though is we're gonna see some big changes. I think Prime is the first thing that's gonna change.
Yeah, no,
I can see that changing.
Sounds like it's the case that free Prime subs are probably gonna go away.
Here's what I think is another really dangerous take on Prime. I think they're gonna change it to 20 to 25%. Streamer gets $2.5 there, so they get $2.50. Twitch is gonna get a small whatever is left of that, and they'll go to 20 to 25%. Because then Twitch at least makes a little bit of money. If you go to 50%, I think the $2.50 is still going to the streamer. Twitch gets none of it. So Twitch is probably going to say, well, but if we do 25%, we'll at least get 25% of the 75% there. So we'll get like we'll get the streamer gets that $2.50. We get $1.25.
Yeah,
we'll still get something out of it. I think Twitch will do that. And that's the more pessimistic, like, okay, if Twitch is this desperate for money, they're going to do that. I'm hoping it's just 50%. Because then at the very least, Twitch isn't seeing more of a loss. They're just like, okay, well. Anyway. Okay. We got a couple of games to talk about, and then we'll talk about Xbox and Best of Steam. Okay,